Hello, Mr. Barker. Here is my pitch. Fade in, bathroom. A lady walks into the bathroom. The bathroom is lit with candle lights. There's a pan across. You see the candles. She goes up to the tub. She turns on the tub water. She goes to the sink. She turns on the sink water. She takes this water from the sink, splashes it in her face, takes a deep look at the mirror, and then you see a call. You see a call coming in, and then we finish the pan across the candles, and at the end, there is a razor blade. Then we cut to, for all intents and purposes, his name will be Dave. Dave is sitting at in a doctor's office, and it looks like there's a futuristic coffin sitting behind him. The doctor's looking at him, and he's like, "Why is she not answering? Why is she not answering?" The doctor's like, "It's okay. He'll be. I'm sure she's fine." It's like she's probably taking a shower or going to the bathroom or something. And he's like, "She took the miscarriage really hard. I'm worried about her." He's like, "It's okay. After you go ahead and after we go ahead and do a couple more tests, then you'll be out of here and you can go see her." And he's like, "Okay, yeah." Well, then we come back to the bathroom. The lady is in the tub. She's sitting in there. She takes a deep breath. The water's still running. She grabs the razor blade, and she looks up into the air. As she's about to cut into her wrist, she does, and as that's about to happen, the water in the tub turns to a black ooze. As she's cutting, she watches the blood run down. The blood falls, and then she sees that the water in the tub has turned into this black ooze. She's like, "What?" She kind of reacts to it, not with words, but just a reaction in her eyes, whatever. And then tentacles come out of the ooze, grab her arm, grab her other arm as she tries to reach for the phone, and pulls her into the tub. Then cut to Dave entering the house. It is silent. It not as much as silent, but just a crispness to the noises that are there. Honey, he's looking around. He's looking. Bam! Jump scare. An audio jump scare. It's more of a jump scare. I want there to be jump scares in this movie, but I don't want the jump scares to be cheap. Bam! Something comes behind him, and you basically see her come into frame. He's not aware of it. He's still looking around the house. He goes up into the bathroom because he hears something or whatever, and he goes in there, and there's the tub's there, but the water's just regular. It's not overflowing or anything, or it could be overflowing, depending on situations. And then she appears behind him, and he's like, "Hey," and she's covered in this black ooze, and I want it to kind of look like the vampires in Blade when they're covered in the blood, kind of, except the blood would be this black ooze, and they're not vampires. And but he's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And she responds, she says, "Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, what's up with you? You okay? You all right?" The conversation goes on, and she ends up lunging at him. He moves. She hits her head on the tub and falls over on the other side of the tub. He's like, "Oh," and he looks over at her, and there's a gash in her head. Well, the gash has got stuff and tentacles moving all in it, and he's like, "Oh my, what in the world?" Well, she gets back up. He's like, "Okay, we need to take you to a doctor or something like that. You need help. You need serious help." And then they all hear the emergency signal, like something has gone really severely wrong, over every device. And then he runs to, he's like, what? And she comes lunging at him, and he just runs out the house. He runs out the house, he runs to his car, he drives off. He's driving. He calls back up this doctor with the futuristic coffin in the background, and he says, "There's like, have you seen what's going on? Have you seen what's going on? It's wild. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm about to be there. We gotta start this thing. We might not have a chance. I think the red situation that we've talked about has happened, and we need to get this started." "All right, yeah, no, yeah, okay." It's like, "I'm gonna be coming in as fast as I can, but I don't know when the world's going on." Now, there could be a scene in between there where he has to interact with people, but that could be cut. It's not necessary, but it could be fun if time permitting. Then he gets to the lab, that he was at. He goes inside. It ends up that the futuristic coffin is a time capsule for him. They're in a special facility where they make it's supposed to be soldiers are put into there and sent behind enemy lines, and then an advancing area, and then of course they come up and they're behind enemy lines. Well, he's sent into the future, and it's basically, you just saw the startings of this. When he wakes up, he's in the sewers, and he doesn't know what's going on. He ends up getting with this group. Like, the human race has basically become subterranean people, a subterranean colony of people just moving underground to stay away from this ooze stuff. And the ooze creatures, the oozed, and which there'd be no backstory in that. I would probably save a backstory for the second movie. And that's one of those things. I think people waste too much time doing an origin story when you can do that in the second movie when people are already, and get into that. But anyways, a subterranean thing, and then he meets somebody who basically gives him the backstory. This would be the character that I want Mr. Barker to play. I think that'd be awesome to have your character in there, or have you in there, and then just have the character interact with it. The sewers, though, like as a production thing, I would kind of want them to have graffiti all over them, and I want Clive Barker's artwork on there, because the first time I saw your artwork was on Reveille's first CD, Laced, and I had no idea it was you until I looked at the thing. I was like, Clive Barker did this? Oh, that's awesome. Well, to have your graffiti all over there would kind of give it that special touch. Maybe like, I just think maybe I could do my stuff as well. I do kind of like surreal, cartoonish type of stuff. Anyways, but that would be the backdrop of it, and most of it would be in these sewers where there's a subterranean human colony. One wants to fight. One group, one sub faction wants to fight. The other one wants to move to a colder area where it's easier to defend. And I think that you could have like the leaders of these sub factions be maybe, and well, that would be the internal conflict would be the sub factions, and then the external conflict would be the oozed, and then of course I want to call the movie The Ooze, but the leaders of the sub factions, I think you could get the actor that played Hellraiser to play one of them, and Tony Todd play the other one. I would love to have Tony Todd in there. That would be awesome. And then of course have Tony Todd have his character have a son. The son gets killed, and then like that just I really think there's a lot of story in there. I think that there could also be one where somebody gets left behind in the sewers, and you could go ahead and have like a homage scene where it's just kind of like, have a homage where it's like the people walking is like, oh, where is he? And then blip, 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 the ooze starts dropping. It's like it drops on his hand. And just awesome stuff. I think it really has potential to be something. If you pick me to be the winner of this, I'll go ahead and start typing up a script so we could go ahead and have at least the first draft down. Please pick my artwork, and I would want the movie to be internationally receivable, like something that you could show to like a whole bunch of people, and not such a small niche group. I want it to be a wider range where more people will be able to see it and have a high rewatch value, because it would just be really entertaining and stuff like that. So that'd be cool. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks.
From the Well, FROMTHAWELL. From the Well. From the Well.